Okay, newsflash, Americans want to elect a president, not a pope. Don't get me wrong, the leaked Billy Bush clip was disgusting for someone seeking the presidency, even if it was 11 years old. But Donald Trump's words were not nearly as repugnant as the actions taken by a whole host of former U.S. presidents. Bill Clinton received oral sex in the Oval Office while apparently conducting government business on the telephone. JFK told a 19-year-old intern to fillet his chief of staff by the White House swimming pool, and then had her lie down in his official car so to be invisible to the British Prime Minister. Lyndon Johnson was always looking for ways to insert his Johnson into routine conversation. FDR and Dwight D. Eisenhower's extramarital affairs nearly ended both of their respective marriages. Thomas Jefferson, the founding father who famously held the equality of all men to be self-evident, he must have found his slave, Sally Hemings, to be just a little more equal, as she bore him 7 children. Presidents Grover Cleveland and Warren Harding both fathered children out of wedlock. And Teddy Kennedy was still considered to be a serious candidate for president even after he fled the scene of an accident where he drunkenly drove his car into a pond, drowning his female assistant. Now, I'll spare you from sounding off on how the vast majority of those men were Democrats and by some miracle that transforms lecherous behavior into something to snub. Instead, I'll say this. Yes, the Trump video from 11 years ago was loathsome, and Trump has acknowledged that. However, that video has no bearing on his being president, and Americans know that. Americans do not care about locker room lewdness that has absolutely no bearing on the past, present, or future state of their nation. Americans don't care that Trump is a jerk because he tells it like it is, and they trust that he will do just that when their interests are at hand. And Americans do not care that Trump is rough around the edges because they know that the polished politicians who deride him have skeletons of their own. For the Rebel.media, I'm Faith Goldy. You want to hear more news and views you can't get from the mainstream? Tune into my program, On the Hunt, at the Rebel.media.